On Sunrise, catching up on big bills after a record-setting wildfire season. Why there are already growing concerns about footing the bill for next year. Plus, a setback for Oregon's semiconductor industry. Why the governor has reportedly decided to leave a key patch of land near Hillsborough alone. Your news starts now. Good morning, and thanks for getting up with us on this Saturday morning. I'm Libby Dowsett. We will get to your headlines in just a minute, but first, let's check in with Daisy Caballero with the latest on your weather.
Good morning.
Morning.
It was a wet and wild last few days, right?
Yes.
I would definitely say so, and I'm sure all you at home would maybe agree with me as well. And we'll kind of recap what we saw these last few days in terms of wind gusts and also total rainfall, or rainfall totals rather. And more rain is actually on the way. This is our next system that is just bringing some more precipitation to the Pacific Northwest, including us as we're zooming in a little bit closer. Really just dealing with some spotty showers for the most part. Looking at the Rose City right now, camera 51 degrees, last check there. Winds coming out from the south-southwest at 14 miles an hour. Winds are going to kind of be a factor for today. Again, I'll tell you more details coming up in my full forecast. But looking at our rainfall totals so far for this morning, just a few traces here in the Rose City, Vancouver, almost 1/10 of an inch over in Scappoose, and a little bit more of that as we're looking over on the coast, and for Hood River nearing 2/10 of an inch of rain. All right, looking at our current temperatures right now, 48 degrees over in Beaverton, 49 for Hillsborough, good morning, 49 also over in Gresham, and in the low 50s for folks down in Kaiser and also for Salem. So here's your day at a glance. Again, a lot more to talk about, including watches and warnings, including sneaker waves. Back to you.
Thank you, Daisy. A quick reminder on the coast. The National Weather Service says there's a high threat for sneaker waves this weekend. Sneaker waves can suddenly knock people off their feet and quickly pull them into the frigid ocean, which may lead to serious injuries. A reminder to watch your back and avoid the jetties and logs near the waterline on beaches. It may be winter, but we're still dealing with the aftermath of this year's record wildfire season. The people who work to keep our communities safe are finally getting paid after the state approved new funding. Alma McCarty has our story.
Managing a wildfire is costly.
All sorts of logistics and supplies that go into the wildland firefighting.
But state leaders say in a historic season, with the largest number of acres, 1.9 million ever burned in Oregon, it's never been as costly as this.
Thousands of firefighters and vendors working alongside with us all summer to suppress nearly 2,000 fires across the state. The bills had mounted up.
Derek Gasparini with the Oregon Department of Forestry explains those bills were more than the department had allocated, prompting the governor to call for a special session.
We did make some decisions, I think, in this session to really prioritize making sure that we are paying our bills, especially for those small vendors. And quite frankly, that is the reason that we are here.
Lawmakers approved the roughly $218 million bailout for both ODF and the Office of the State Fire Marshal on December 12th, and Governor Kotek signed it the next day. 2 weeks later, Gasparini says they are delivering on the commitment to get outstanding payments to wildland fire vendors as quickly as possible.
Basically, this $191.5 million from the legislature has allowed us to very nearly clear our accounts payable and get everyone that helped this year paid.
And next year, ODF officials and other state agencies plan to push to change how these efforts are funded, given fighting wildfires has grown more costly and complex.
We still need folks to answer the call when we need help for those wildfire suppression activities.
And the long session kicks off in about a month, with the governor also recognizing the need for millions of dollars to fully fund wildfire readiness and mitigation programs. Prosecutors just dropped the charges against a Vancouver teacher accused of sexual misconduct with one of the students. Vancouver police telling us that's because the statute of limitations has expired. The case against Shad Brien Gatson stemmed from an alleged sexual relationship in 2013 between him and a then 16-year-old at Hudson's Bay High School. Police say the overall investigation into Gatson is still open and more accusers have come forward. Gatson has been on leave since last month. We are seeing potential signs of progress when it comes to gun violence in Portland. Stats from last month show the Rose City sustained the fewest number of shootings in 3 years. Blair Best takes a look at the downward trend.
John knows the risk of gun violence in Portland.
It can happen any minute, anytime.
Despite the danger, he spends most days at North Portland's Dawson Park,
I'm only here to get dollars.
an area he calls a depot for drug deals. And with that, he says, come shootings.
I've seen some people get shot. I've seen some people not make it.
This past summer, a man was killed during a Dawson Park shooting. Officers found more than 70 shell casings.
I see some people stand at the bus stop and die from gunshots in here.
But the violent trend is dropping. Recent data shows there were 42 reported shootings in Portland last month. 3 were homicides. That's the lowest monthly total in 3 years.
Is incredibly encouraging, but by no means are we waving the victory flag.
In recent months, Portland police have increased their presence in areas prone to gun violence, like Dawson Park.
It's a deterrent. If we're in the area, people are not as inclined to pull out guns and use them. And we've found great success in that space.
Police officials also point to gun violence prevention groups as a contributing factor to the downward trend.
We are not alone in this, though, by any stretch of the imagination. We have city partners. We have community partners.
Like Larry Turner.
I think that one shooting is too many.
Turner works with African Americans re-entering the community from prison.
It's very important. We know not only the players, but we know their family members, we know their siblings, we know their friends. So we have a relationship with them in the first place. I believe that the prevention work that we do here is affecting the decrease in the numbers.
But that work, he says, is far from over.
Well, anytime the numbers decrease, I feel good about it. But 42 is still a high number as far as I'm concerned.
Portland is also on track for fewer shootings overall this year compared to last. This follows a national trend where deadly shootings are declining dramatically across the nation. Negotiations have resumed between Providence Health and the union representing thousands of its workers. A cooling off period has passed, meaning the Oregon Nurses Association could send a strike notice at any time, and that could trigger the first doctors' strike in Oregon's history. It would include nurses and nurse practitioners, impacting more than a dozen locations. The union is required to give 10 days notice, and we will keep you updated. Oregon's governor has reportedly decided not to use a plot of rural land near Hillsborough to boost the state's semiconductor industry. According to both OPB and the Oregonian, the governor will not use her limited executive power to expand the urban growth boundary, which would have brought in nearly 400 acres near Highway 26 and Jackson School Road. Kotech's power expires at the end of the year. In a statement to OPB, the governor's office said it doesn't think there is a legal path forward to bring in the additional acreage. Oregon recently missed out on 2 federal semiconductor research centers, with the projects going to other states.